If you suffer from stiff, painful knees, there's an ancient remedy that may help, and you can hold it in your hand. I'm talking about Gua Sha tools. Gua Sha originated in ancient China thousands of years ago when they used stone or ivory to scrape the skin for health benefits. In this video, I'll show you how to use Gua Sha tools at home to help relieve knee pain and stiffness. It can help with conditions like knee arthritis, patellar tendinopathy, or even pain and stiffness following knee replacement. So let's dive in. But before we get into the how-to, it helps to understand why this helps. In traditional Chinese medicine, scraping the skin was thought to help release toxins from the body. Today we have a slightly different understanding. Gua Sha and other IASTM techniques, or instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization techniques, cause a mild inflammatory response in the body. This happens by disrupting small dysfunctional blood vessels within muscles, tendons, and fascia. In turn, your body sends cells called fibroblasts, which help lay down new healthy tissue and restart the healing process. In order to do this effectively, you need to apply enough pressure to create a response, but not so much pressure that you damage healthy tissue in the process. You may have seen pictures of people following Gua Sha or IASTM where they have deep bruising, and this type of pressure is often not needed and may even slow down healing. So a good rule of thumb is it should be a little bit uncomfortable, but not painful. Next, you might wonder, what kind of tools should you use? There are all different types of IASTM or Gua Sha tools. Probably the most well-known ones in physical therapy are the metal Graston technique tools or the plastic ASTM therapy tools. These tools are part of proprietary treatment systems, and so they're only available to licensed and trained healthcare professionals. However, you can buy Gua Sha tools online fairly inexpensively. They come in a variety of different shapes and made from different materials such as plastic, jade, or metal. I've even seen people use the backside of a spoon, and while that may be helpful to start, these are so inexpensive. I got this plastic set for under $25, so if you do find it helpful, I'd suggest just buying a set. So now that we've covered the basics, let's get into how to use Gua Sha tools at home to help relieve knee pain and stiffness. When applying Gua Sha or other IASTM techniques for knee pain, it may be tempting just to scrape around the painful area or possibly along the quadriceps. But your knee doesn't function in isolation. So we're going to treat pretty much the entire lower extremity here to treat the whole kinetic chain. But we will start out with the quadriceps. Now when you're treating a larger muscle group, you want a long edge like this, or like this. As you get down to more localized areas like around the kneecap, you want a more pointed tip. It doesn't really matter what shape tool you use as long as you move from a longer edge to a shorter, more pointed edge. So we're going to start out moving along the thigh like this. It does help to apply cocoa butter or some other lubricant just to avoid getting your skin irritated by the friction. And you want to be able to put enough pressure down again that it's a little bit uncomfortable. As you move along the tissue, you should feel kind of little bumps in areas. And when you run over those little speed bumps, that's some of the disorganized tissue. Now, importantly, you may feel that in the painful areas, but you may also feel it in non-painful areas. It's important to treat the whole thing. So we're going up and down the quadriceps like this, starting close to the knee and moving away from it. But you can also go the other direction as well, because sometimes you pick up on the ridges or speed bumps more in one direction than you do in the other. It's not like a massage where you're trying to push everything back towards the heart. So I would recommend going in both directions with this. Kind of scan the area, and if you find an area where you feel like, oh, that's really knotted over there, for example, this is more on the outer quadricep, then you can localize in and move to a thinner edge. I'm going to use sort of a rounded one like this and dig in a little bit deeper. When you have less surface area, that creates more pressure per unit area. And so that gives you a little bit deeper response into the tissues. Now moving around the kneecap, you want something again thin and pointed and just kind of making little circles around, moving especially over the patellar tendon right here. The quadricep tendon above the knee right here and the patellar tendon below the knee. I should also note that you don't want to have your leg hanging over the edge like this, because if your tissues are on stretch, then you can't get in as deep as if the tissues are relaxed. So I would recommend doing this sitting in bed or on a couch, somewhere where you can have your leg out straight. Next, we'll move down to below the knee in the calf and lower leg. So we'll go along the outer leg here. This is the tibialis anterior that fills this space on the outer shin. Now note the inner shin is just bone there. That's your tibia. And so you don't want to go on the inner shin, but going on the outside of the shin from this bump right here, the fibular head, down the outside of the leg, along your perineal muscles down here, and coming back the other direction this way. Now, especially going through your calves like this along the outer calf, or I'll show on this leg along the inner calf, pulling up this way, pushing down that way. You also want to get right in between the shin bone here and the calf muscle. That's a deeper muscle called your tibialis posterior. You also get into the deeper calf muscle, your soleus. So you'll need a little sharper tip there, stroking down and back up. And if you do find some knots in their area, feel free to focus in a little bit longer on that area. So we're doing the inner calves and the outer calves like that. Now we're going to come back up above the knee here and go to the hamstrings. Again, you want the tissues on a little bit of slack. So bend the knee up, but you shouldn't be tensing your hamstrings. You want to kind of support it and keep the hamstrings on a little bit of slack, running down the outer hamstring, which is called the biceps femoris. And again, go both ways here. And then on the other side, you'll go on the inner hamstring, the semitendinosus and semimembranosus. You also probably will want to go into the inner thigh, the adductor muscles, which sit right along the inside, and especially the long adductor magnus and gracilis, which crosses the knee. So moving down that way and back the other way like this. Now, once we've covered the muscles right below the knee and right above the knee, we also want to move down to the foot and ankle, because your foot and ankle is highly involved in knee pain. And so you can go right along the Achilles tendon here. Be careful, there is a little superficial nerve, so you don't want to dig in too deep along there, but going right along the outside, right along the back of the Achilles tendon, right back there. You'll often feel knots right at the insertion point into the heel, so moving around right by the heel there, going on to the inner side right there, and then going around the ankle can help too, especially if you have had some prior ankle sprains or ankle injuries. You may have some persistent stiffness there, which can actually be affecting your knee pain. And then it can be helpful to go on the bottom of your foot as well, going right down here underneath the foot like that. The bottoms of the feet in acupuncture and the hands and ears are highly sensitive points. And if you think about your fascial system, kind of like a sock or a sock hat, you have all the fibers going parallel and then suddenly they converge. And that's kind of like what the bottoms of your feet and the hands are like. So moving along the bottom of the feet like that. So those were the techniques to use IASTM. And then of course you'd want to do some stretches for the muscles as well. I won't show those in this video, but if you've just done your quadriceps and your calves, you probably want to stretch those same muscles that you've just done the soft tissue mobilization on. Hopefully you found that helpful to relieve knee pain and stiffness. In addition to Gua Sha tools, there are also some other ancient remedies that can also be helpful for knee pain. For example, acupuncture and its modern-day Western world equivalent, dry needling, can also be helpful for knee pain. In one of the most well-designed randomized controlled trials that I've ever read, patients who received dry needling while under anesthesia had less pain for up to a month following knee replacement surgery than patients who did not receive it. And since they received the treatment while they were under anesthesia, they had no way of knowing whether they were in the treatment group or the control group. And therefore, placebo goes out the window. In addition, there are some ancient herbs that can also be helpful for knee pain. One example is boswellia or frankincense. Yes, the same frankincense that's mentioned in the Bible. And to learn 9 supplements that research shows can be helpful for knee arthritis pain, check out this video over here. But before you go, if you found this one helpful, make sure to give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.